Okay, we're trying something new today. We'll see how this goes. I have no idea, but at least I look cool and I have sparkling water, so that helps a little. Now for something completely different. Oh, well, hey there, guys. I'm so glad that you're here. If you've been here before, then welcome back. If you're new here, hi, my name is Cheyenne. I am a cosplayer, seamstress, general nerd person, and this is the place where normally what I do is I do a little craft project to keep the horrors at bay, because the horrors persist, but so do I. But today we're doing something a little different. I don't fully know how this is gonna go. I mean, we'll see if you guys even see this. This might just be a thing that I make and then that no one ever sees. Or it might be a thing that I film now and then you don't see it for another like 6 months, because it's probably gonna take me a long time to edit. But there's only one way to find out. Also, if I'm looking off to one side, this is gonna be my first time using a teleprompter, because it's gonna be my first time using like a full-on script and not just like some rough notes. So just bear with me on that. I don't know, we'll figure it out. We're doing this real DIY style right now, okay? We're figuring it out as we go. And that's all I gotta say. Okay, so I know this channel has only ever been for DIY style content, and I love making what I make, but the truth is, I rarely watch DIY content on the daily myself. It's not that I don't love DIY content. Shout out to these incredible DIY/maker channels that inspire me and that I follow. In my day-to-day life, when I'm folding laundry or doing the dishes, what I have on in the background pretty much nonstop are video essays. Listen, I was raised by Lindsay Ellis, okay? I mean, Channel Awesome as a whole, but really Lindsay Ellis. I learned more from Lindsay Ellis than I think that I did for my entire 4 years of film school. I love her so much. I just love thinking way too deeply about stuff. I met H Bomber Guy at a Borderlands event I was cosplaying at, and I marked out like nobody has ever marked out before. There were like pro gamers, pro streamers, didn't care about any of them. H-Bomb was there. Oh, he was really nice too. Shout out Harry. I was literally being the biggest dork alive, but he was so sweet to me. He was so nice. He was so cool. And I got to meet Kat, which was super cool. It was very like, y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. And I've always wanted to make a video essay, but I didn't feel called to. Someday something would pop up that I'd feel really passionate about, and I'd have so much to say about it that I wouldn't be able to stop myself from writing baby's first video essay. Well, the time has come, and the topic that's finally grabbed me by the collar, taken over my life to where I have to make a video essay about it, is a Barbie stage show that played at Disney World for less than a year in the early 90s. I'm just as surprised as you are, which is probably to say not that much in some ways, but also like, come on, really that? So here we go on this weird little project. Since I'm primarily a sewing channel, I'm also going to be trying to make something as I talk you through this. Think of it kind of like those commentary videos where people do speed painting footage over top of them. I also watch a lot of those. Shout out to the art commentary community. Y'all have so much drama, so much mess. You've entertained me so much. This is either going to be a weird one-time thing that I hate making and I never do again, or I will have finally found my niche. I don't know which of those is the preferred outcome. I'm really scared that it's going to be both somehow, but that'll be partially based on if you guys enjoy it and if it gets views. So with all that said, let's get into it. Part 2, basic background. Okay, first off, let me establish a couple of things I'm going to assume you already know, because I can only misfrizzle so much niche knowledge into your brain at one time. I'm only one weird girl, okay? There's only so much I can do. And frankly, if you don't even know this much, I don't even know how you ended up on this video. Like, are you lost? Should I call your mom to pick you up? I will, just let me know. First off, I'm going to assume you already know who Barbie is. Plastic woman, proto-feminist, bimbo core icon, love of my life. I'm sure you can probably guess that I am a Barbie girl for life. just a little bit interested in Barbie, just a touch. I liked Barbie well enough as a kid. My mother claims that I didn't play Barbies with her that much as a child. I remember playing with them, but I was 3, what do I know? But I didn't get obsessed with Barbie until I read the book Forever Barbie, the unauthorized biography of a real doll by M.G. Lord when I was in my 20s. I believe this is the first version of the book. I bought it at a thrift store years and years and years ago, but there is a more modern version that is easily available. So if you're interested in knowing more Barbie background knowledge, this is where I would recommend that you start. I'm also going to assume you know about Disney, Disney World, the Disney parks, the general Disney industrial complex. If you've managed to miss that part of the monoculture for this long, Gorge, maybe just keep it that way. I'd imagine that you might have a happier life than me. I really don't know. Like, I don't know. It feels like it would be a little late to start now. If you do need more background on the Disney parks, I highly recommend the YouTube channel Defunct Land. Watch them, fall in love with them, develop a crippling theme park hyperfixation like I have. You're welcome. And also, I'm sorry. Now then, what was all this about a Barbie stage show? Barbie isn't a Disney thing. If you said that, you would be correct. But picture it. The year is 1994. Clinton is in the White House. The O.J. Simpson trial is dominating the news. Friends has ripped off the formula of living single, inserted white mediocrity, and become a smash hit. I am 3 years old, and Disney is trying to increase visitors to their flagging second gate in Disney World, Epcot. At this point, Epcot had been open since 1982, so it wasn't quite the new hotness anymore, and attendance was flagging, especially for families with young kids, because let's be real, what does Epcot have that, say, I, as a 3-year-old, would have any interest in? What could it offer me? You can't drink around the world yet. There are no princesses. There are like 2 rides that you can ride. I don't know. Now, I haven't been to Epcot since I was a teen in the early 2000s. Yes, I am old. And I remember even then thinking that it was pretty skippable. I haven't been in a long time, and that was before I caught the theme park obsessionitis. So maybe now I would enjoy it, but I don't have the money to do a Disney World trip, so leave me alone. But guess who was not having problems with interesting young kids in the 90s? That's right, Barbie. If you were a kid in the early 90s, then you remember Barbie was still kind of the only game in town. She'd vanquished Jem and the Holograms in the 80s, you know, through some kind of crazy corporate espionage, and the Bratz apocalypse was not even a glint on the horizon yet. And Barbie had completed her evolution into the ultra pink camp queen we know and love. Or well, that I know and love. Modern Barbies look like she bought a lot of LuLaRoe and has to offload it but isn't succeeding, so she's just wearing it all herself. That's genuinely how it feels. Now, this isn't quite as out of left field as it might seem. Mattel and Disney have actually had a relationship since the early 60s. Mattel had the Disney license to create merchandise for the Mickey Mouse Club, which was a TV show in the 60s that was a huge, huge deal. It is the reason that we know who one of my favorite celebrities ever, Annette Funicello, is. So let me know if you want me to talk about Annette Funicello for too long. I could. But they made a lot of merchandise for the Mickey Mouse Club, including this like Mickey Mouse Club guitar that I would love to own. And with the Disney Renaissance squarely underway, Mattel was making several lines of Disney princess dolls in the early 90s.
Which princess in the new Disney musical Princess collection would you like to be?
I'd be Jasmine. She plays music from Aladdin. Wow! Belle's beautiful. I'd want to be her. I'd be Cinderella. Someday my prince will come, so I'd be Snow White. I can't decide. I love them all.
The Disney musical Princess collection. Each doll plays a tune from a Disney movie and is sold separately.
Listen. These commercials are like crack to me. You have no idea. So, if little girls loved Barbie, which they did, and Epcot needed to attract more families with young kids, which they did.
It's free real estate.
And so, it was decided. Barbie would become Epcot's ambassador of friendship. whatever that means. And she would celebrate her 35th anniversary / her birthday at the parks. Except, I mean, God forbid we let people think that Barbie is over 30. Normally, you just see birthday without any kind of year. She would celebrate her birthday at Epcot, okay? So all of my pattern pieces are cut out, and I'm going to go over and start putting things together. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna be able to talk to you while there's a loud ass sewing machine going. So I will meet you back when these are in one piece and we are doing the embellishments on them. Cool? Cool. Part 3, Barbie at the parks. I should have gotten bigger rickrack than this, but this is what I have, so this is what we're using. And so, in 1994, Barbie made her debut in Epcot. I can't quite tell if the show or the meet and greet started first, but for our purposes, we're going to talk about the meet and greets first. It just makes more sense to my brain. I don't know. So there were 3 characters from Barbie's world who you could meet in the parks. You can meet Barbie, obviously, but you could also meet Skipper, Barbie's younger sister. If memory serves, Skipper is the second in the birth order, at least in terms of the canon at that time. They move around. But at that time, if I'm remembering right, it was Barbie, Skipper, Stacy, Kelly, and Ken. All 3 of them would come out of a hot pink Barbie-themed stretch limousine. Oh, why not me? I looked to see if it was based on any particular Barbie car, but from what I can find, Barbie didn't get a limo for the first time until the Sane era, so it's not based on any specific Barbie limo. Now, Barbie was driving a hot pink Corvette in 1994, so it is in line with the type of cars that Barbie was driving at that time. I could talk about Barbie's relationship to cars and freedom and feminism and advancement for women for a zillion years, but that's a topic for another video. The limo that Barbie came in on was actually repurposed from the Lim Mouse zine. Yes, the Lim Mouse zine, which was used in 1989 to drive Mickey around to various events for a tour to promote Disney MGM Studios. It was a $10,000 Rolls-Royce limo that, from what I can see, they just kind of slapped some Barbie pink stuff on and called it a day. Make it pink. Which, in fairness, is sometimes what Mattel does as well. Enough about the car. Let's talk about Barbie and her friends. Barbie's look for the meet and greet is also her first look in the Barbie stage show, based on Paint and Dazzle Barbie from 1993. This is a Barbie who was created in partnership with Tulip, the craft supplies brand. The idea was that she came with rhinestones, puff paint, various craft supplies for you to pizzazz up the pink denim jacket and skirt combo that the doll came in. So Barbie was low-key getting money on 2 ends for this one, on the front end and the back end. Listen, just a girl boss. There were also a bunch of very cute crafting kits you could buy as well. The look consists of a pink jean jacket and skirt, and a little pink midriff top, a giant Trixie Mattel wig, silver earrings, and LA Gear light-up sneakers. I listened to a podcast where a few friends of Barbie were sharing some stories, and they all talked about how happy they were that they got to wear sneakers for Barbie, which I just thought that was so cute. I thought that was so wholesome and adorable. I absolutely love this outfit for Barbie. It's got her signature pink and kind of pizzazz, and it's very Barbie-core, but it's also a little bit more contemporary and a little bit more casual. It was very relevant to outfits that people were wearing at the time in the early 90s, at least from my personal memory. I think it keeps her pretty approachable. If you were a small kid in the 90s, it would feel like Barbie could be your really cool big sister or your really fancy babysitter, as opposed to this kind of like unreachable figure, which is sometimes what I feel like the princesses can seem like to people. I have volunteered in Costume with Kids quite a bit, and sometimes, even if it's a character they love, if it's a character that's really big, it can freak kids out. It can be too much pressure almost. It's also the outfit we're making right now. Skipper's meet and greet outfit is almost a direct copy of the cool crimp Skipper doll from 1994. Her hair, not crimped, hysterically enough. There are fewer pictures of Skipper than Barbie from what I could find, but from what I can see, the outfit's almost 1-to-1. Down to the pacifier-shaped earrings, which feels like such a random choice for a doll who wasn't like babysitting themed. I don't know. It doesn't look like she was there quite as often as Barbie, but I can only go from what I can find, which is just pictures that people have uploaded, and there are a few videos of meet and greets. I can only go off of what I can find, which makes sense because for you to do a Barbie meet and greet, Barbie has to be there. Skipper doesn't necessarily have to be there. And then there's Ken. Oh, Ken. Guys, I'm going to level with you. I hunted to try and find a Ken look that the Ken face character meet and greet outfit was based off of, but I kind of came up short. The closest that I could find was Camp Ken is kind of similar, but Ken's history isn't documented quite as well as Barbie's because, I mean, well, let's be honest, he's just Ken. But I seriously could not find a Ken doll from either 1993 or 1994 that was a 1-to-1 with the look Ken wears in the park. I find it so interesting that Barbie and Skipper are basically 1-to-1 with dolls from the time, but Ken isn't. I assume part of the reason the other two were so close to real dolls is because apparently they had some kind of merch stand either by the theater or somewhere in the parks. I was not able to find any pictures of it, but I've read several interviews from people saying that it was there where you could buy the Barbie dolls. But most girls that I knew growing up in the early 90s had one, maybe two Kens tops. So I doubt that they were selling Kens there. My personal pet theory is that they just made a Ken look to sort of match with the paint and dazzle Barbie look that Barbie wears in the parks, because he's in a little jean vest and little jean shorts and very similar white high top sneakers. So in my brain, that's probably what the thought process is that he just needs to match Barbie. His look is very 1994 though. I also found this single photo from what I'm pretty sure is a promotional picture, maybe from a brochure or something like that, where Barbie is in Mickey ears and she looks very similar to 1994 Disney Fun Barbie. I've basically torn the internet apart trying to figure out where this picture is from, but I haven't really had any success. I mostly wanted to bring it up because I think it is so stinking cute, but I'm also really curious, was this ever the initial plan for what Barbie would wear in the parks? Was this ever a part of the plan? Was she gonna wear multiple outfits so they could sell different Barbies? Did they sell Disney Fun Barbie in the parks? I haven't had any luck figuring any of this out, but I couldn't resist mentioning her. She was so cute. A few other Friends of Barbie tidbits that I found. When the face characters for Barbie, Skipper, and Ken were cast, they were all given a handbook that was put together by Disney and Mattel with a lot of Barbie trivia and info that they were expected to memorize. They specifically bring up needing to make sure that they know that Barbie's full name is Barbie Millicent Roberts, which I already knew. I didn't need that in a book, but I would kill to own one of these handbooks. If you were a friend of Barbie's and you have one, call me. I will, do I need it? No, but I need it. The Friends of Barbie were also expected to keep abreast of what Barbie dolls were in stores and be up on what was happening with Barbie. And the Barbie characters signed their autographs with pink scented markers.
I think it gives it a little something extra, don't you think?
So, it's 1994. You're a Barbie-obsessed little girl. How exactly is this information supposed to get to you? That you can go meet Barbie in the parks. It's not like there's, usable internet in that time. There's no social media for you to see. How are Mattel and Disney supposed to make you absolutely feral to see this and annoy your parents into spending your tuition money to take you to Orlando? The solution to that was the promotional VHS tape, Barbie Birthday Party. From what I can find, the VHS was produced in 1993 and could be sent away with the purchase of certain dolls. I've seen conflicting advertising on this. Sometimes it says that it can be purchased for $2.99 with the purchase of select Barbie dolls, but I've also found at least one print ad that claimed that you could get the VHS for 1 cent. So either The $2.99 price tag included the shipping and handling, or at some point Mattel just had too many of these in a warehouse and they lowered the price to try to get somebody to buy them so they could get them out of there. Those are my only guesses. Who knows? It's very hard for me to confirm any of this. But either way, you've gotten your Barbie. You've begged your parents. They've paid some amount of money, between a penny and 99 cents, for you to be further advertised to. It's here! It's not here because I didn't get a chance to buy one in time for this video. I had this fantasy that I was going to, and I actually had a bid on something on Mercari, and there was an issue with my card and it got bought out from under me. So just pretend that it's here. The box, giving you everything you expected. It is bright Barbie pink, and it features glitter-haired Barbie posing in front of the Epcot ball with those specific early 90s Memphis style design elements that look like confetti and still make my brain go burr to this day. You've gotten the VHS, you sit in front of the TV, you load it into the VHS player, and what you experience is an absolute unhinged fever dream. Part 4, Barbie Birthday Party. We open with some B-roll of Epcot over the single cheapest Casio setting I think I've ever heard.
Hey kids, it's time to join the fun at the Barbie Birthday Party at Walt Disney World, Epcot 94.
The pink limo pulls up and our two hosts step out. We meet Lisa, played by Samantha Merck, and Stephanie, played by Melinda Hugh. They both give these really high energy, really overly enthusiastic performances that feel super familiar to me as a kid who did acting in commercials in the 90s. Obviously, it can be a little much. But it's not like this thing needs the Meryl Streep treatment. It's basically a 30-minute commercial, let's be real about it. The girls split up to take on two different sides of this big old ad, but they have quote-unquote Barbie cell phones so that they can communicate. I wasted so much time trying to figure out if these Barbie cell phones they have were actual Barbie toys from the time period. They look so insanely familiar to me. Like, I feel like I had whatever brand of like walkie-talkie these were. But I looked and I looked and I hunted. I looked through eBay listings. I looked through old catalogs. I could not find a picture, an eBay listing, anything that looks like them for the life of me. So maybe I'm just misremembering. Maybe they are some other kind of walkie-talkie that they like painted pink. I don't know, but it drove me insane. And so I had to tell you about it. But either way, they have these little cell phones so they can communicate across this giant theme park. Sure, okay, whatever. Lisa will be going behind the scenes of the Barbie's Magical World stage show, and Stephanie will be exploring Epcot, the park, because remember, we are trying to sell you on both Barbie and, more importantly, Epcot. Interestingly enough, they don't ever actually meet Barbie in this, which feels like a waste to me. Maybe the face characters weren't ready yet. There's a lot of rehearsal footage in this thing that seems like it's very early in the process, and it would make sense that they would want to film this pretty early so they could get it edited and out before the show started running so that people could book their vacation packages, yada, yada, yada. But it feels like a waste to me, and we'll talk about it in more detail a little bit later. So first up, we go backstage of the show with Lisa. We get some great footage from stuff like rehearsals and fittings, which as a theater nerd is the stuff that really gets me going. There's an interview with the art director of the show, Rhonda Counts, where she specifically talks about the Imagineers taking a trip to the toy store to buy a bunch of Barbie toys to research, and how they wanted to incorporate the way that so many of the toys transformed into something else. Barbie was on a big 2-in-1 kick at the time in the 90s, so this makes perfect sense to me. We also briefly meet Lynn Ford, the costume designer. She talks about how everything Barbie wears needs to be a fully realized look from head to toe, fully accessorized, bright colors, It's so cute. It's such a small thing, but I love seeing behind the scenes theater folk get this little spotlight. I'm probably biased since my day job involves working in the theater world in a very behind the scenes capacity, but even just the small shots of people working on costumes, welding set pieces, it's a nice reminder of how much time and work from so many different people come together to make a show, even something as ephemeral as this that I'm the only person that seems to deeply remember and care about. Next up, we switch to Stephanie, who's visiting the Epcot Mexico Pavilion. We get a shot of one of the Dolls of the World Barbies in the park to correspond to whatever country Stephanie is visiting. You can really see them trying to crowbar Barbie into an Epcot-shaped hole. She's traveled the world, you guys. It makes sense. We promise. Stephanie meets up with a few other girls and they beat a piñata to celebrate Barbie's birthday. There's something very sweet to me about just watching these kids be kids, to be honest. When I was little and I did catalog modeling and commercials and stuff like that, it was always a thing that I really liked and I had a lot of fun doing. I always remember days that I got to be on a set as really, really fun and really exciting. I often got to not go to school that day, which always feels special when you're a little kid. I got to get my hair and makeup done. I got to meet new friends and other kids my age. And depending on what it was an advertisement for, sometimes the shoot would just be us playing games or playing with toys or playing dress up. And it always felt like a really fun, special day. A lot of the time I would get to have McDonald's afterwards. I would get a Happy Meal. My parents would take a little bit of the money that I got paid and give it to me where I could go to Toys R Us and buy a toy. So I have a lot of positive memories associated with that. These girls got to go to Disney for several days, I'd imagine, and play and hang out with other kids their age and play piñata. I just really hope that it was one of those fun days on set for those kids. Next up, Stephanie takes us to the Japan Pavilion. We meet a woman named Suzuko who shows her some origami that she's made for Barbie. For such a shouty video, this moment, this segment is very calm and very sweet. Suzuko is a bit more soft-spoken, and the girl playing Stephanie kind of chills out and matches her energy.
This is a crane. We call this tsuru in Japanese.
And what is this?
This is frog.
Frog?
So this frog can jump.
It can?
Yes. Okay, I can show you like this.
Oh, I want to try that. That's cool.
Some of this video is super scripted, but this seems like a pretty unscripted moment of these two people just sharing, and I think it's really cute and sweet. Stephanie also shows us a crane mobile that Suzuko was made as a birthday gift for Barbie. Next up, we're back with Lisa, who is watching a dance rehearsal for the magical world of Barbie. A moment for everyone's very 90s rehearsal gear. We're wearing flannel to dance? It sends me every time. It's so 90s. Lisa also takes us backstage to show us the hair and makeup area. We see a couple of what I assume are supposed to be Barbie's wigs, although I don't think Barbie's hair looks like that at any point in the show. So they might just be some blonde wigs that they sat there for set decoration. I don't know. And then we have this very sweet moment with one of the hairstylists for the show.
Wouldn't it be fun to have someone fix your hair all the time?
I heard what you were saying. I'm one of the hairstylists for the Barbie show. I have some free time now. Would you like me to fix your hair?
Wow, how cool! Could you really do that?
Sure. Let's look at it. I have a fun idea.
This is too cool!
Listen. This is girlhood. This is girlhood. This is so girlhood. This is so girlhood. I can't explain it further than that. It's just girlhood, okay? Just trust me. Stephanie calls Lisa on their little phones to tell her to meet her at the China Pavilion for a surprise. While Lisa is on her way, Stephanie gets a lesson in Chinese calligraphy and has Happy Birthday Barbie written out on a pink t-shirt to bring to Barbie. I assume this is something they want you, small child watching this video, to get your parents to shell out the extra money for when you go and visit Epcot. Lisa catches up with Stephanie and the two of them run to catch a boat for the surprise. It's a party for Barbie. There's maybe a dozen little girls making birthday cards for Barbie, and it's so sweet. They're all showing the camera the cards that they've drawn, and they're all covered in glitter and hearts, and you can absolutely tell that these little girls made these cards for real. They're not just things the art department made, because they look very authentically like something a little kid would make. It's just so sweet to me. Like, I'm sorry, this is girlhood! This is girlhood! I will say though, this is the part of the VHS where my adult brain goes, why isn't Barbie here though? The entire video, people talk about Barbie like she is a real person. We are going to go celebrate Barbie's birthday. Look at this present this person has made for Barbie. Look at these cards these children have made for Barbie. We're told we're watching Barbie and her friends rehearse for the show when we see the rehearsal footage. Stephanie is getting all of these gifts for Barbie. Feels like they should be meeting her, but we never meet Barbie. If I felt like being pretentious, I would say that Barbie haunts the narrative of this entire VHS tape. Feels like they should be meeting her. I would probably have had it happen at this point in the VHS, if for no other reason than I think all these little girls deserve to have gotten to meet Barbie and get to give their birthday cards to Barbie. She could show up to this little birthday party, meet all of these little girls, thank them for their cards, open her presents, thank Stephanie and Lisa for making this such a happy birthday for her, and tell them she had to go get ready for the show and she would be so excited to see them there. It just feels like such an easy thing for them to do. It feels like such an easy layup, and I don't understand why that wasn't done. I feel like as a little kid watching this, because remember, this would have been a thing I would have been watching when I was around 3 or 4 years old. I don't think that this video would have made me realize that I could meet Barbie, which to me is a missed opportunity, because I think that's the thing that would have really mattered to me as a small child. Getting to see a show is one thing, but I would get to meet Barbie, take a picture with Barbie. I don't know, I just feel like that would have meant the world to me as a 3-year-old. Do you know what I mean? It just really feels like a wasted opportunity. They clearly have the costumes for the show in some capacity because we see footage of it. They could have slapped a blonde wig on a character performer and had them go and be like, thanks guys, it's me, Barbie. Hi guys, it's me, Barbie. I'm so happy that you wanted to celebrate my birthday. Thank you so much. I'll see you at the show later, bye. Is that hard? I could have done that. Next up, the girls go to the Italy Pavilion and eat spaghetti with the power of fast motion. Now, this is definitely the part of the videotape that is the least interesting to my adult brain, but I feel like it would have been very funny to me if I had seen this when I was a little kid. It kind of reminds me of those old Mary-Kate and Ashley videos, and I was obsessed with those as a grade schooler, so no harm, no foul. They get a portrait done of Barbie in France, specifically a portrait done of the doll, which is super cute. And wouldn't you like to get your portrait done, little girl who's watching this? This feels like a good point to mention that while this video is super cute and fun and nostalgic and would have probably made me feral to go see the Barbie stage show as a kid, their attempts to make Epcot interesting to a small child, they kind of don't work. They are working it as hard as they can to show things that small children might enjoy, but it's really not working. I don't know. Like, what can I, a 3-year-old in 1994, do at this park once the Barbie stage show is done? I can't beat a piñata in the parks or make birthday cards for Barbie, at least as far as I can find. I couldn't find any kind of promotion saying that that was a thing you could do. If I eat spaghetti in the parks, it won't be in fast motion. I'm sure that they probably had pretty limited access to the parks because the park is clearly open, but I really don't know if this VHS does a great job showcasing what Epcot has to offer, especially from the perspective of being an adult. Like, from the eyes of a parent, most of the things they do in the park, they seem like add-ons. I mean, I know it's the early 90s. The economy hasn't crashed. You could probably sell like 3 pairs of Jinko jeans and afford to go to Disney. But it would still probably be hundreds of dollars to get your kid to Epcot. And then you're expected to pay to get your kid a portrait and a t-shirt with Chinese calligraphy on it and spaghetti and all kinds of other things. I would never have been able to talk my parents into that. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, after all of our Epcot shilling, we're finally coming to the show proper. We will talk about the show in much more detail. Some would say too much detail. In the next section. But it's nice to have some footage of the show that's professionally shot, as opposed to most of what I do have, which is, you know, recorded on potatoes. They do a good job of making the show seem fun. They have little bits of a few sections of the show interspersed with some of the people that we met earlier in our adventure wishing Barbie a happy birthday. It's all very sweet. But wait, the videotape isn't technically done yet. Yes, it is only a 30-minute tape, but they still had to pad this out. That is how uninterested Mattel is in Epcot, which I get it. The videotape ends with a segment called Barbie Today, which is effectively just a bunch of commercials. They do have a captive audience after all. I watch 90s Barbie commercials for fun, so this is very much up my alley. Even though, from an anti-capitalist standpoint, it's a little ghoulish. We get a segment introduced by a stop-motion Barbie in a studio. The same footage is used in one of my other pieces of weird early 90s Barbie ephemera, Barbie Fashion Secrets, which is another thing that I would love to make a video about, so let me know if that's something that you're interested in. I couldn't find a credit for the stop motion animation here, and I looked. There is a good chance that the animation was done by Will Vinton Studios. They were like the stop motion studio at the time. They did stop motion animation on a Barbie workout video before this, and they also did some incredible stop motion Barbie commercials that I really vividly remember from my childhood. They are single-handedly responsible for those things where they have to put dolls do not move on their own because they just make it so incredible to look at. But I don't know for sure that it's them. After Barbie lets us know she's going to show us some of her hot new fashion looks, we get ads for Sun Jewel Barbie, 1994 Birthday Barbie, Camp Barbie, Locket Surprise Barbie, Glitter Hair Barbie, and Bedtime Barbie. I didn't have all of these Barbies as a kid, but I did have Bedtime Barbie. And let me tell you, she was treacherous. Because even though she had a soft body, and she was marketed to be a Barbie doll that you could take to sleep with you, she still had your standard plastic Barbie hands. And if you rolled onto them the wrong way while you were asleep, they were like tiny knives. We also get ads for Cool Crimp Skipper, naturally, and Happy Meal Stacy. Even more cross promotion. All the brands! We also get a selection of Barbie Around the World. We stuck that Epcot landing. I feel like this being the end segment of the tape really shows you what side this VHS was buttered on. It was directed and written by Susan Kosar-Berry, who also directed the Barbie Fashion Secrets tape. And from my personal stalking on LinkedIn, it says that she did freelance ad work for Mattel for 6 years. So this was a Mattel joint first and foremost. But it's very cute and it's very fun, and I definitely understand why a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for it. Now, I didn't watch it for the first time until I was maybe 32, so I have no excuse, but what can I say? I'm built different. Okay, and with that, we've added all of the trim onto the skirt. I machined on the kind of swirly pattern on the machine, so obviously you guys didn't see that part, but I think it looks pretty cute. And then I also machined on a bunch of the rickrack onto the denim jacket, but in the show at least, I can't tell for meet and greet because I could not find a picture of the back of the meet and greet costume, and it does look like they're slightly different. But on the back of the show costume, Barbie has her logo on the back, basically like the old school 90s Barbie font wording. So we're going to be adding that and then some little bedazzle bits in our next section. So why don't we head over to the table and we're gonna finally get into the thing that really sets my heart ablaze, the Magical World of Barbie stage show. I'm so ready. Let's go. Part 5, The Magical World of Barbie. So the jacket has all of the rickrack trim on it. I'm gonna be kind of guesstimating what it's supposed to look like because I've only been able to find it in clips from the show that are shot on potatoes. So I'm not 100% sure, but also in the spirit of it being paint and style Barbie, I'm taking liberties and we're gonna add some other stuff. We're gonna add some extra rhinestones. But first off, we are going to have to do our painting. A silicone paint mat that I'm putting down on my cutting table. And then I've also got this old pizza box that I'm going to put down just because I don't want to get paint on my cutting table. You know, my nice fabric topped cutting table that my husband worked really hard to make for me. I already traced out a version of the Barbie logo. I don't know if you can even see it on there, but trust me. So the plan is that we're gonna trace this just with chalk, and then I'm gonna go in and paint it while we're talking about the stage show. Really excited, actually. Because I get to talk about my favorite part now. Ah! Okay, we're using Angelus leather paint for this because I have some. It's not technically what we should be using, but listen, sometimes crafting is using what you have, okay? Now we've come to the thing that I'm actually obsessed with, the Magical World of Barbie live stage show. This is the stage show that the Barbie Birthday Party VHS was hyping us up for. It must be incredible, right? Well, it is to me. The Barbie Epcot show was basically the crown jewel of this whole partnership. It was intended to open in November of 1993 at the American Gardens Theater in the American Adventure Pavilion of Epcot. Plan was for the show to play 5 times a day, 5 days a week for 2 full years. When it opened on Thanksgiving 1993 for its first performance, it closed that same night. Apparently, both Disney and Mattel felt it wasn't quite up to the quality they wanted, and they wanted a little bit more time to let it cook, so to speak. So they pushed back the opening of the show so that they could make changes. It eventually opened on Christmas Day of 1993 and ran through May of 1995, meaning it closed a full 7 months earlier than Disney had planned. You can definitely tell that this thing was mucked with. I have watched pretty much every recording of this show that's up on the internet, which is not that many, it's like 6. There are definitely things that are tweaked between early recordings and later ones. For our purposes, we're going to be talking about a video recording of the show from the final day of performances on May 13th, 1995. I will link it down in the description for you. This way, we are giving the show its best shot, we're seeing it in its final form, and also because this is the recording of the show that I personally have watched the most. Sometimes if I'm having a bad day, I will do a little bit of grown-up gardening and I will put this specific video on. It doesn't fix all my problems, but it helps quite a bit. So, the show begins with our host, David. He basically serves as the MC for this first bit of the show, and then once Barbie and friends start their adventure, he keeps showing up as various characters throughout the show. So kind of like the lecturer in Reefer Madness the Musical. Oh my god, I just referenced Reefer Madness the Musical in a Barbie video. If you know me, it makes sense, okay? David comes out and starts off the show with a little bit of Barbie trivia to warm up the audience. He asks what year Barbie first hit store shelves. Obviously, a very easy answer, 1959. Her first job was teenage fashion model, obviously. Don't ask me Barbie trivia unless you want to get smoked, okay? And then he asks the audience how many mothers played with Barbie. How many grandmothers?
Barbie's been a good friend of ours for a long time.
It's so cute. After mercilessly coming for my emotions, David finally asks us if we're ready to meet Barbie and all of her friends. He proceeds to pull out a box of dolls, complete with Barbie coming up on her own little platform, which is very cute. He has the entire audience chant Barbie's Magical World. And the cast comes to life, I guess. Don't think about it too hard. Our first musical number begins as we meet all of Barbie's friends. The chorus of the show all get a little named shout out here as they're all playing one of Barbie's friends. The cast consists of Midge, Steven, Skipper, Shawnee, Christy, Kira, Todd, Kevin, Derek, Jazzy, Teresa, Brad, Stacy, and PJ. In other performances, I've also heard the names Kayla and Alan. So these are all names of actual Barbie doll characters who have been in Barbie's Friend Squad at one point. Jazzy and Shawnee actually both had their own lines before eventually getting absorbed into Barbie's general posse. I'd love to deep dive particularly into the history of the Shawnee dolls someday, so let me know if that's something that you're interested in. But anyway, Barbie and her friends all come out and sing the first musical number in Barbie's world. And let me tell you, this shit, a banger.
Barbie's world, there's no limitations in Barbie's world. There's nothing you can't do.
If I have something that I don't want to do in my life, sometimes a tiny bit of this song helps. In Barbie's world, I can't do the dishes. In Barbie's world, I'm taking out the trash. In Barbie's world, I can schedule my doctor's appointment. Imagine it! Imagine it! Not one lesson. The dancers all give the number their absolute all, even though it's the last day of numbers. But this number is crazy. They're all on scooters, they're jumping rope, there's ladders moving around for some reason. It's a little chaotic in a really fun way. I'm sure that this choreo would strike me dead. One of the boys, I think Derek, it's kind of hard to tell, is in a costume that makes him look like Goku to me. We get a really nice close-up of him, and it's all I can think about every time that he shows up in this number. And it makes me giggle every single time that I notice him. Finally, at the end of the number, we get to meet Barbie. She is chauffeured onto stage in a little blue convertible thing with Ken. Something that I didn't notice until I was actually looking up reference pictures to make this costume is that the show version of the costume has some extra glitz, some extra spangly bits. She has the silver trim all over the yoke of her skirt and also on the collar of the jacket. We're skipping it on the collar of the jacket because that just feels like a recipe for it to get caught in my wig. But the meet and greet versions of the outfits actually are more plain. So I thought that was interesting to notice. I don't know that much about many of the performers in this, but I do know that our Barbie, at least in terms of the main Barbie, I can't tell who I'm looking at in any particular video that well, but Barbie is played by Elizabeth Simmons. Apparently, when Disney was casting for Barbie, they did a big, splashy, publicity stunt style thing where they held auditions in 6 different cities looking for Barbie. It sounds like they must not have found somebody who was exactly right for the part, because Elizabeth Simmons was not a part of those open auditions. She was actually noticed by the casting directors while one of them was watching the Miss America pageant that year. She was Miss Oregon that year. She came 3rd in the pageant, which, if my pageant memory is right, means that technically she was awarded 2nd runner-up. But I mean, let's be real. Elizabeth won the real prize here. I think she makes a great Barbie. She gives a really charming performance. She's very high energy. She's very bubbly. In particular, her voice as Barbie sounds a lot to me like what I remember thinking Barbie's voice sounded like as a small child. We definitely would hear Barbie's quote-unquote voice in commercials on occasion, and obviously there's her voice in the 90's computer games and things like that. She clearly does a pretty good job of matching that kind of very standard, high, clear, bubbly voice that Barbie had at that time. Her voice doesn't quite have that same sound anymore, but in my brain, it's always what Barbie's gonna sound like. Okay, we got our white to a point where I'm pretty happy with it. Next, we're going to take some lilac and I'm gonna go around the edges just to kind of clean everything up. And then from there, we will get to do the fun part, which is rhinestones. Barbie greets everyone and explains to the audience that we can travel anywhere with our imaginations. I feel like media for kids when I was young focused on imagination, make-believe, and imaginative play in a way that I feel like I don't see as much in modern media aimed at children. I could be wrong about that. I'm not a parent. I'm not watching Bluey by myself as a 34-year-old or anything like that. But I have friends who are parents who have small children, and I have absolutely sat and babysit and hung out with them watching TV. It doesn't seem like the media that they engage with emphasizes that as much, at least the stuff that I've seen. I'm not a parent yet. I could be wrong on that, but that's just the vibe that I get. And I think it's a thing that we should really bring back, is just imagination, imaginative play, make-believe, so the kids can be off their damn phones a little bit. I just think it's very sweet, and I wish it was something that I saw more in modern children's media. Todd, I think, talks about wanting to go to Africa on a safari, and Midge cuts him off to say that they should go to Paris instead. She cuts him off so quickly, too. It's very like, maybe it's something about how fast she shoots him down, or the way that she shoots him down, but it just makes me very like, y'all clan? Why you keeping the brother from his motherland? But maybe in an attempt to stop her oldest friend from saying something racial, Barbie says that she has a feeling that someone needs their help in Australia. I really love that they've given Barbie this kind of like spidey sense for where somebody needs her help. It just is really cute, and I love depictions of Barbie where helping other people is a big part of her character. Everyone agrees with her because they realize if they go to Australia, they can have a beach party. Listen, they're pretty people. What did you expect their priorities to be? Ken drives a beach buggy out on stage that he's made. When Barbie mentions that it's not like they can drive to Australia, he uses some of that transformation that the art director of the show talked about, and they turn the beach buggy into a plane. This isn't the only piece of media that makes Ken Barbie's gadget guy, and I always think it's a very cute detail when it is included. Ken's depiction in Barbie Life in the Dream House comes to mind, and that is the best version of Ken, like full stop. It's also arguably the best depiction of Barbie, but that's a whole other conversation. I really love when they give Ken this personality trait. There's something very sweet about Ken just wanting to be there to help his girlfriend, right? We love Ken who knows his place. That sounds so bad. We love Ken who is just there to support his incredible girlfriend, right? He knows his girlfriend's badass. He's just there to help and to make her stuff when she needs it. Like, I just think that's so sweet. Maybe it's also because I'm married to a gadget guy. He built this cutting table for me. He puts up all my shelves. If I need some weird prop for a cosplay, he is the person who's going to figure out how we can build it. So, you know, I'm probably a little biased. But either way, we get a reprise of Barbie's World and head off to Australia.
Barbie's world, there's no limitations in Barbie's world. There's nothing you can't do.
Once we get to Australia, we meet David as Wombat Dundee. He is chasing down a koala, and Barbie and the gang stop him with the ironclad logic that he's not bothering anyone, and the Earth is his home too. Listen, honestly, based. I feel like this Barbie would fight landlords in that same way. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just my leftism talking. They then proceed to have their beach party and include the koala in it, because why not? After a quick change, Barbie comes out in the Sundazzle Barbie swimsuit, which you guys will recall we already saw a commercial for in the Barbie birthday party VHS. Integration! They really have this cross-integration thing on lock. This beach party song, not quite as catchy as Barbie's World, but I mean, what is? But this song is very fun. There's some very unhinged things happening as part of the performance. The koala bear is in a little surf outfit. They're throwing beach balls around. Ken is spinning not one, but two, maybe even three hula hoops around his neck. They play a little bit of the song Waltzing Matilda, which I know is a big deal to Australians, but I have no concept of why. Listen, I did a lot of research for this video. Researching the history of Australian folk music is where I draw the line, okay? Next up, Ken pulls out a submarine for them to go on the next part of their adventure, and I swear that the underscore starts playing a little riff on Yellow Submarine by the Beatles. I am shocked that they got away with that. It made me feel like I was hallucinating.
Barbie, your very own special transportation to anywhere your heart desires. So tell me, where's it gonna be, huh?
It's truly such a bold move, but I mean, I doubt that Ringo's gonna be at the Barbie Epcot show to hear it and do something about it, so YOLO, I guess. Or maybe it falls under parody law, I don't know. But, either way, the gang is finally going to Africa. Cue the music!
Barbie's world, there's no limitations in Barbie's world.
we're in Africa on a safari. It is the early 90s, so safari is kind of, I think, the extent of Africa knowledge that your average person who is a tourist at Epcot knows. We see a group of Barbie's friends on stage in these little safari outfits. I think these might be some of my favorite outfits in the show. They have these adorable little matching camo tops, skirts, little matching hats, little matching boots. They are just so cute to me. There's something about a monochromatic look like this that is one of my favorite things. And in particular, I love when it's like a group of friends and everybody's in their own color. What can I say? I grew up watching Power Rangers. It makes my brain go burr. But they do remind me a little bit of the Animal Lovin' line. And guess which Barbie character wears their Animal Lovin' outfit in arguably one of their more defining depictions in Toy Story 3? That's right, Ken. Full circle, baby. Now, during the performance that we are talking about, this particular recording, it starts to rain at this point in the show. And you can see parts of the audience kind of hustle to get under the covered part of the amphitheater. And I don't know why, there's something about that that feels very human to me. You can see people kind of squeezing together so that people can have space and people can get in and stay dry. I don't know. There's something very human about that, and I think it's very sweet. I love moments like that in other people's home videos. Anywho, the girls are on their safari with Dave as their safari guide, but they're annoying him. They're talking a lot. They're being very enthusiastic in a way that I think is very cute and bimbo-core. He clearly just cannot deal with. He quits, he cancels the safari. One of the girls, I think Kira, bends down to tie her shoe at this point, and one of the other girls pats her on the head, which I think is so adorable. You really get the sense that these people were friends, at least on some level, which makes sense because if you're doing a show 5 times a day with a group of people, I'd imagine that you trauma bond at least a little bit. The tour guide may be too frightened to keep going, but Barbie and her friends are determined. So we get a musical number that's about the jungle. It's honestly probably my personal least favorite song in the show, but it is a little cute. There's like a swing dance element to it, which is very fun. They do some very fun choreography here, particularly Ken and Barbie do a cute little swing dance together. A big chunk of the ensemble for this show are in like leaf outfits. Basically, they're moving these set pieces that are a bunch of leaves. And I love how in a couple of shots you can kind of see them chit-chatting with each other, which makes sense. If you did this show 5 times a day for over a year, you probably could do it in your sleep and have, you know, and kiki with your friends. Fuck. Oh, I'm fucking everything up. No! We get a monkey that I am 1000% positive was a character suit from some kind of Jungle Book situation. But then we also get a more realistic looking gorilla suit. So cohesion, we don't know her. I definitely think that this sequence got the least budget allocated to it. I'm sure the show as a whole was probably not that expensive, but I think that this one was the part that they just went, just throw something together. Safari. We have some monkey costumes back there, right? That is genuinely my personal vibe on how that went. The gorilla chases Ken around and he hides in the crowd for a bit. He like sits in the audience next to somebody. I wasn't able to find the name of this actor who plays Ken in this, but a brief moment for him. He has this kind of goofy charm that I feel like the best versions of Ken really embody. Like, I think everybody has their own idea of what the Barbie characters' personalities are like, because we have had a bunch of different versions of them. But in my opinion, Ken is at his best when he's a little bit of a goober. So, a moment for this actor. Once they're done equating an entire continent to jungle, it's time to move on to the next step on our adventure. Ken brings out a boat and he turns it into a hot air balloon with some help from the girls. He has them blow through a big hose. An actual big hose. Get your mind out of the gutter. And then we get this.
You're right! Barbie's very own hot air balloon. How about that, huh? Hey, do you like that? Yeah? Do you have one of these at home? Ooh, let's tell your mom to get you one.
Excuse me, sir, Mr. Kenneth Carson. And yes, I did look up Ken's full legal name because I was so annoyed by this. I have a bone to pick. There was no toy of this for Mom to get. Barbie didn't have a hot air balloon for the first time until Barbie and the Three Musketeers, which came out in 2008. It's 1995. How is Mom supposed to go and get that? A time machine? Do you have one of those somewhere too? Ken, this is a call out. Problematic. Ken is problematic. I've exposed you, Ken. You're canceled. Sorry, I'm very passionate about this. Anywho, Barbie suggests next that they go to France. Let's go.
Barbie's world, there's no limitations in Barbie's world. There's nothing you can't do. In Barbie's world, use your imagination and make your dreams come true.
So, off to Paris we go. The MC comes back as a French fashion designer who needs Barbie's help fixing his latest fashion collection. It is questionable, so they decide that the costumes need the Barbie touch, which is in fact the name of our next musical number. Barbie pulls a little girl up on stage to be part of the number, and we get what is to me one of the funniest line reads in this whole thing.
Let's see, who out here would like to help me show Pierre what the Barbie touch is all about? How about you? Come on up here. You can sit in the Barbie chair.
You can sit in the Barbie chair. Like, it's so, like, dead behind the eyes coded in a way that is so funny to me. But they bring this little girl up on stage. She's very cute. They put her into a little dress and hat with choreo that I don't know if they would do now. Like, I hope that they checked with this girl beforehand or like with her parents or something, because otherwise it feels very weird that they randomly pulled this child up on stage and then they're picking her up like this. Like, why are you picking her up? I need an adult. Next up, Ken comes out and we get a full-on fashion show. All of the looks are based on different countries because remember, we're in Epcot. I looked and I hunted and I could not find one-to-one dolls for any of these looks, so I think that these were Disney team originals, but they are probably based on countries that are in Epcot's World Showcase. That's my guess, although I don't remember there being a Canada section, so correct me if I'm wrong. If you recognize any of them, please put the doll names in the comments. I'm desperate to know. From the UK, we get Lilacs of London, a soft toot. Next up we get Goddess of the Serengeti. This is a toot, but the performer really sells it, so I'm tempted to give it a shoot, honestly. It's giving 90s church fashion show, which if you know, you know. Canadian charisma. Boot. Absolutely boot. From Egypt, Jewel of the Nile. At first, this look is so beautiful, but when she takes her arms down and the cape is still there, I don't love it. So I feel like it still gets a toot, but it's a very soft toot. Do you know what I mean? Parisian springtime fantasy. This look is so ugly that it's incredible, so I'm giving it a toot. Oriental Splendor. I feel like I have to boot that just for the name. Agreed? Agreed. Sassy South of the Border. Boot, 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 boot. I hate those sleeves so much. They might be cultural, I don't know, but the way that they have constructed them in this show, awful. Boot. Incredibly Italian. Boot. Why did they give my girl that fuck-ass bob? Listen, my bob is not a fuck-ass bob. This is a Ramona Flowers haircut, okay? It's different. And then Barbie comes out in what they call the ultimate gown. This look is actually based off of the Empress Bride Barbie doll designed by Bob Mackie in 1992. I actually have this doll. So here she is, the Empress Bride Bob Mackie. She is so incredible. So my husband got her for me this Christmas, and she is truly one of the most incredible things that I own. Not just Barbies, not just dolls, one of the most beautiful things I have ever owned, period. The parks costume does a pretty good job with this dress based on what I would guess that the budget was. This doll's dress is incredibly intricate. It's fully hand beaded with several different kinds of beads and sequins and embroidery. It's just a stunning piece of art. Like, I'll get some close-ups later just so you can see. The parks dress isn't quite as intricate from what I can see, but it has the silhouette and the general look pretty well down. But then I've only seen this dress on 1994 home quality VHS recordings, so there could be details there that just are not coming through on camera. Everything that I've seen of this show was filmed on a potato. They do cut the veil and they change her hairstyle. The doll has a braid in the back, whereas they gave Barbie a bun. But still, part of what made this one of my dream dolls to own is because this dress was featured in the show. So it's pretty cool to see it. You know, it's kind of like I have a little piece of this thing that's brought me a lot of joy. Next up, Ken brings up the little girl from earlier in the musical number and tells her it's her turn to walk the runway. The little girl's name is Taylor, and she is from Corpus Christi. Ken gets the state wrong, and Barbie gently corrects him.
Here, this is Taylor, everybody. And Taylor came to see us from Corpus Christi.
Wow.
Yeah. Florida.
Oh.
I think.
Texas, honey.
Oh.
It's Texas.
Texas.
We'll go over our geography just a little bit, okay?
Which is so Barbie and Ken coded. It's so in character, and it's so cute to me. Taylor walks the runway, and when I tell you, this would have been the moment for me if I had gotten to do this as a little kid. This would have been my dream. I would have been so jealous of this little girl if I did not get to do this also. But then of course I started doing modeling as a child because I did a best dressed Easter pageant as a 3-year-old and they could not get me off of the stage. So it's probably for the best. What can I say? I'm a Leo. Everyone poses so they can get a picture with Taylor, and Ken asks if he can give her a kiss on the cheek. Consent King Ken, I guess I will forgive you for that hot air balloon snafu, Ken, because you respect women, and we love that. After they show Taylor off stage, we get our final number, a sappy little song about friendship complete with sign language interpretation. In the early 90s, ASL was having a bit of a moment culturally, if my memory serves, so this was bound to be here. There's something about the way that they perform the sign language that makes it look like they have Barbie arms. You know, the bent Barbie doll arms from that time, you know, like that. It sends me every time. And then it's time to go. Doves get released. Truly insane. Unhinged. Where do the doves go? Do they have the same doves every night? I need to know. I'm just curious how the doves worked in this. And we get one last reprise of Barbie's World to send us off.
There's no limitations in Barbie's world. There's nothing you can't do.
All right, and with that, the jacket is done. I think it looks really cute. I obviously took some of my own liberties with it, but I'm really happy with it. The costume is done, so now I guess we just have to try it on, and then we'll have our final thoughts. Let's go.
Barbie's world. There's no limitations in Barbie's world. There's nothing you can't do. In Barbie's world, use your imagination and make your dreams come true. Come with us, right this way. Come with us, let's go play Barbie.
Part 6. Why? Before you say anything, I know this wig does not match the wig from the show. I ran out of time, okay? So cut me a little slack on that. I know the wig does not match. So that was the magical world of Barbie. As I'm sure you can tell, I've watched it more times than is healthy for a 34-year-old woman to watch it. It's brought me comfort in some really, really dark parts of my life. It's brought me comfort through having a breakup with my best friend. It's brought me comfort through incredibly stressful times at very abusive work situations. It's brought me comfort through the fucking Trump administration. It's brought me some comfort in some of the toughest times in the last few years. My husband knows to put it on for me if I'm having a really hard day or if I start to have a meltdown. He knows this is what to put on to make me feel a little bit better. I have watched it crying. I've watched it happy. I've had it on in the background while I've cleaned. I've made friends watch it with me. The amount of time that I have spent watching and thinking about this dinky little show, this show that played at a theme park for less than 2 years when I was a toddler. The amount of time that I've spent analyzing, researching, making a costume, making this whole video, it's just a tiny bit unhinged. I realize that. So the question becomes why? Why does this dumb, chintzy little show mean so much to me? It clearly means more to me than it does to Disney or to Mattel or to the general Disney adult industrial complex. I found a couple of people talking about it, but mostly they talk about the VHS tape. They don't talk about the stage show. Now that makes sense because the videotape was absolutely more accessible to people than the stage show. To see the stage show, you would have to go to Epcot in that time period and catch the show and then remember the show all these years later, or watch the 7 bootlegs of it that exist on YouTube over and over the way that I have. The grand majority of people probably didn't see it. It did close early, so I doubt that the audience numbers were incredible. It's not even like I saw this as a kid and have childhood memories of it. I'm sure it's a thing I would have been obsessed with had I seen it as a kid, but I didn't encounter this for the first time until I was 32, maybe? I watch all kinds of weird, nostalgic ephemera and nonsense on YouTube, but not all of them get put into the hyperfixation rotation. So why this one? This is probably going to sound silly, but I honestly think it might come down to that song. Yes, it's an earworm. Yes, it's a bop. Yes, it went platinum in this household. But I don't think it's just that. I think it's the sentiment in it too. In Barbie's world, there's no limitations. In Barbie's world, there's nothing you can't do. Well, sadly, I don't live in Barbie's world. I live in this one. And this one sucks. And I hate it here. This world can be hard and scary and bleak and draining. In my world, there are so many limitations. I don't have time to do all of the things that I want to do. I don't have the resources to do all of the things I want to do. I don't have the money. Literally, as I'm filming this, they shut off my internet today, and I can't get it turned on until tomorrow. I have to take other people's shit at work. I'm not able to just spend my days making costumes and roller skating all day anymore. I'm 34 years old, and I'm not a full-time content creator, or a ballerina, or a costume designer, or a film director, or any of the things that I imagined for myself when I was younger. There are literal Gestapo roaming around this country, kidnapping people, separating families, and I feel so fucking powerless about it all the time. And while it is important to stay informed and get involved with your community where you can, sometimes it just feels pointless to me. Sometimes I feel so useless, and it feels like I am just looking into this gaping abyss that is waiting for me to finally lose my help and swallow me whole. Just this gaping maw of cruelty and darkness, and I sometimes feel like I am teetering on the very edge of it. It's so big, and it's so deep, and it's so dark. It's too big for me to even get my brain around. But in Barbie's world, there's nothing you can't do. Barbie has her own money, her own car, her own house, hundreds of careers. And she's had some of that stuff since before women were even allowed to open bank accounts on their own. She travels the world. She has helped so many people. She has friends who love her. And she still serves in head-to-toe pink. I know that she's not real. I know she's plastic and made by a big evil corporation. But at the same time, she's real to me. For me, I think that Barbie represents that feeling when you're little and you can become anything and do anything, and your future is so open and bright. When I was a little girl, one word that I was not allowed to say in my house as a kid was can't. I wasn't allowed to say that I couldn't do something. I was allowed to say that I needed help or that I was having trouble or difficulty, but I was really discouraged from using the word can't about myself. And I really used to believe that about myself. When I was little, I used to know so deeply in my core that I was beautiful and smart and special and talented. But somewhere down the line, I lost that. My brain even decided that I was the opposite of all of those things. That I was stupid and slow and untalented and that I couldn't do anything and I was never going to amount to anything. I have attempted to self-shuffle off of this mortal coil a couple of times, and sometimes I still think about it. I still feel like a loser a lot of the time. I've had to work really hard to get to a point where I can love myself. I'd say most of the time. I'd say 80-90% of the time I do love myself. But I've had to do a lot of work to get there, and I'm still not quite there. I'm still not at 100%. So maybe it's silly, but just hearing that there's no limitations, that there's nothing I can't do, sometimes I just need to hear that. Sometimes I need that confirmed to me. I know I can't live in Barbie's world anymore. I grew up and I can't stay there forever. Dwelling in the past so much that you lose sight of the present and the future can be really dangerous and unhealthy for you. But knowing that she's still around, it brings me a lot of comfort. It feels to me like Barbie is an old friend, a big sister. She's still rooting for me. She's still cheering me on. I can still visit her, even if it's in shaky camcorder footage where it starts to rain halfway through. It makes every day a little bit less scary, a little bit brighter, a little bit more pink, a little bit less unbearable. And I think that I need that hope right now. I think we all need that hope right now. So, I guess at the end of the day, this is all about hope. Hope and light and joy and finding your safe things that you can regulate with. The world is really scary right now. It can be dark and sharp and mean. I refuse to let the world make me dark and sharp and mean. There has to be light in the darkness. There has to be something that brings you joy and comfort and keeps you going. For me, it's this dumbass little show, this plastic blonde woman. For you, it might be Star Wars or action figures or Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Wait, that one's also me. Bridgerton, romantasy novels. Hold on to those things. Don't let people make you feel like you have to give them up. Don't let people make you feel like you have to grow out of the things that bring you joy. Hold on to them. Hold on to each other. We need you around. We need you and your light to stick around now more than ever. And just in case no one else has told you recently, I'm really happy that you're still here. I'm so proud of you. And I'm so proud of me. And we just gotta keep going, gang. All right. That was a lot. Sorry that I'm the way that I am. Actually, I'm not sorry. Who am I kidding? Thank you so much. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. This was a very different thing for me. It was a big experiment. It's something that I've never done before. I was really nervous about it. The process of writing and filming this has been really, really fun. We'll see how editing it goes. Ooh. If you stuck around this long and you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm really curious. This is the very first time that I've done a video like this, and I could really use any feedback that you have on ways that I could improve this type of video. If you'd like me to do more kind of video essay style videos like this, I have a couple of other topics I'd really like to do. And some of them are Barbie related as well. Like I mentioned, I'd love to talk about Barbie fashion secrets. I've thought about talking about the Barbie workout tape from the 90s. And then some of them aren't. Some of them are fashion doll related in other ways. Like I really want to make a video about the WWE fashion doll line that they made in like 2016-ish, I think. And also just movies I like, and I have a lot of thoughts about things, and I love thinking way too deeply about stuff. So if that's something that you enjoyed, please let me know. If you don't have anything in particular that you are thinking about commenting on the video, leave a comment with your personal childhood favorite Barbie. Thank you so much again. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, don't fall. Don't fall. Don't fall! Ugh. Okay, I didn't fall. I know it looks like I fell, but I didn't.